Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sammy and I make mommy, lifestyle, and Leo content. Today I'm going to share a day in my life as a police wife and a stay-at-home mama, so I hope you enjoy this video and let's get started. So I have just put Oliver into his walker with some banana puffs. Usually while I'm having breakfast, this is what I do so that I don't have to corral him while I'm trying to eat. So he's gonna just hang out here. I'm gonna turn on his cartoons. We don't do a lot of screen time, so cartoons are a special treat. And he's gonna hang out while I get some breakfast. So I know that Frosted Flakes are not the healthiest thing, but on this day Oliver had been up since 5 a.m. and I didn't start recording until around 9, and I was starving and just was going for whatever was fastest and easiest. So you guys are going to see just snippets of our day, and if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I lost almost half of my footage from this day, but I discovered that it was so difficult to vlog with a baby in tow, and I was really heartbroken about the thought of having to completely refilm this video, especially since this was a 14-hour day for my husband. So I was like, no, I'm just going to edit this, I'm going to make it work. And so there's a few clips missing, but if you'd like to see them, definitely go and follow me over on Instagram. I'm going to upload them on a highlight over there so you can see some really cute clips of Oliver that were lost. But yeah, this is our day and it's pretty typical. Russell's shifts change and vary day to day, but this is pretty much what it looks like for us. After breakfast, I typically do a quick tidy up of the living room just so that it's not so crazy. I did have a clip of me getting ready after I finished up in the living room, but it was one that I did on my phone, so it was lost. And you guys have seen me get ready. If you haven't, I'll have it linked. It's just a few simple steps of my makeup and hair routine, and it doesn't require much effort at all. So I'll have that video linked though if you'd like to know what I use daily, and definitely check that video out. So we always get excited for it. I will have the link for this swing below. This has been one of the best purchases we've ever made. Oliver absolutely loves it, and he will stay in there as long as you let him. Before it gets too hot outside. When I began editing this video, I was super bummed to see that the sun had created these funny little lines on the screen because this is one of my favorite clips that I've ever filmed. I loved it so much that I decided to put it in here anyway. It doesn't really bother me too much, and I'm sorry if it bothers any of you, but I really love this footage because Oliver is a super independent baby. I've talked about it before. He's not real snuggly, he's not real clingy. He is in some ways, but not when it comes to like physical contact. So when he gets super snuggly, it's so sweet to me. And he really was on this morning. I'm not sure why, maybe because he'd been up for so long, but he was super snuggly, and I was here for it. The morning time is his happiest time of the day. It's before he's missed too many of his naps or whatever, and so he's usually super content in the mornings. Even if he hasn't slept well the night before, the morning time is usually one of his favorites. Event, and I paid like $5 for it, and it's so cute and so perfect for all of his toys, and we really love it. It's a constant struggle whenever I have the tripod set up. My cat Nala, the calico, she really loves the tripod and always tries to attack it. I don't know why. I know you're only seeing snippets of our life here, but playtime usually lasts quite a long time in our house. His development is really important to us, and I've read everything I can about child development, and I love my app. I think it's called the Wonder Years. I'll have it linked, but it keeps us up to date with all of his leaps, and we really want to encourage his development. One of my favorite things about Oliver is his enthusiasm for food, and it's always been that way, but it's been especially fun since he started eating solids. And now the struggle is him concentrating on eating or being distracted by everything that's going on around him. So we try to strike a balance and get through feeding time, and it's a lot of fun. So now it's time for Oliver's second nap. He's been awake for about 2 hours and he's getting pretty sleepy. He starts rubbing his eyes and he starts getting kind of snuggly, and Oliver's a pretty independent baby, so if he's snuggling, it's time for him to sleep. So we're going to have a little bit of a bottle and get him back down for a nap, and I probably won't record any of that just because sometimes it takes longer than others, and I would probably lose battery on my camera. So we'll sign off for now, but I will show you guys what I do during his nap times. So Oliver only slept about 20 minutes, and I think hearing his dad getting up and moving around is what caused him to wake up. But this is a really special time of our day because we try to spend as much time with Russell as we can before he goes to work. So we love playtime with Dad. He adores his daddy, and we just really treasure this part of our day. So this is my lunch. It's chicken fried rice and shredded chicken breast and just some sweet tea, and a lot of times I will watch Friends or a YouTube video or something like that while I eat if Oliver's sleeping. So after lunch I typically try to pick up and clean up where I can while I can, and this is usually when Oliver is napping, and so I'm able just to get things picked up and tidied up really quick. But since he decided not to nap, I knew that the rest of the afternoon might kind of go downhill, so I decided to come up and just clean up the bedroom and put away some laundry while Russell was handling Oliver. And you're going to see me get into this blue bag at the end of the bed and find a random pair of gloves from Russell that I don't even know how they got there. But that is the life of a police wife. You often find gear and equipment and random things like belt keepers and shirt stays and black socks and wire hangers everywhere. It's a fact of the life. Russell and I kind of have a deal that since I wash and dry and fold all of the laundry, then he has to put away his own laundry. So what you see in the white basket there at the end of the bed is his laundry, and he typically tackles it on one of his days off, and we've just struck a balance that way because I hate laundry. And if you are a mama, you know that the laundry is never ending. So we made a bargain that he will put away his own laundry. So I asked over on my Instagram for questions that people may have for a police wife. So I got a few, and I'm going to try and answer those now. The first one was, how did I cope when first starting out as a Leo, and how did I feel about it? So I actually think the transition for me as a law enforcement officer wife was fairly easy. And I say that because, first of all, I grew up in a military family. I was used to a lot of travel, people not being there, moving around a lot. Things like that weren't shocking. The second thing is that Russell actually worked in corrections before he became a police officer, and I think that really prepared me because he worked for the CRT team, which was prison SWAT, and he was gone a lot. His shifts were very unpredictable. They were even sometimes longer than what he works now, and so I think that was good preparation for police wife life. I do think that corrections is you have different worries and concerns in corrections than you do as a police wife, but I do think that it was a good preparation, and I think that the transition was fairly easy for me compared to some women who have no experience in any type of law enforcement or military, and they suddenly have a spouse that's gone a lot, or they don't hear from them often, and that can be really challenging for somebody that doesn't have any experience. But I'm thankful that the transition was fairly easy for me. I still have days where I get frustrated with the job, or things bug me, but really I've had a fairly easy transition. The next question was, how do I deal with the fear of the danger of his job? And in all honesty, we just don't allow it to be a part of our daily life. We know that it's a reality. We know that it's something that he faces. Risk is something that he voluntarily faces every single day. But that makes all the time that we spend together that much more special. We spend days off together. We spend spare moments that we have together. We meet him for dinner, lunch, whatever if possible, and all of those little things helps with that fear and anxiety. And honestly, I just don't let it bother me too often. I've had a couple of instances where it has bothered me, but I have a whole video dedicated to dealing with fear, and I will have that linked below. The other question I got was, does he come home with interesting stories? And let me tell you, there have been some real doozies. It's one of the perks of being a law enforcement family. Typically when Russell gets ready for work, I hang out in here and we talk about what his plans are for the day and what our plans are for the day, and we just talk and hang out, and it's really nice. And if Oliver's awake, he hangs out in here too. What are you doing? You're not supposed to be awake. Oliver, you're supposed to be sleeping. What are you doing? So if you haven't already, definitely click the subscribe button. It's completely free. It just notifies you when I upload a new video, and I try to get a video up at least once a week. Sometimes it's more than that, but I usually try to get one up every week. We like sharing our life here and the behind the scenes of what it's like to be a part of the law enforcement family. And the thing is that officers across the country and across the world, their goal every day is to keep their communities safe and to make it home safely to their families at the end of every night. And so we just like to share, a little bit of our life and hope that you can see the human side of the badge and that they're normal just like everybody else. Since this kiddo has decided not to take a nap right now, he has to eat again in an hour, so I'm not going to push it, and I'm just going to let him have a little bit of playtime in his crib while I fold some laundry and put some things away. If you are a stay-at-home mom, you know that you are constantly cleaning and tidying and doing laundry and folding laundry and just constantly trying to care for your home. So even though I know that it can be tedious, it can become very mundane, I actually like order and tidiness. I thrive on it. I do much better with it. And it's been a struggle for me as a mom to learn that it's not the most important thing, because before I had a baby, I cooked every night. I kept the house clean, no problem. Even when I was in school and working 2 jobs, it never was an issue for me. And so once I had a baby and that exhaustion set in and you suddenly realize that priorities shift and change once you have a baby. So I actually sometimes really enjoy the fact that I can clean up and tidy up and have time for that. And it's almost a luxury to me sometimes. Sometimes it gets boring, sometimes I don't feel like it. But for the most part, I really do enjoy being able to clean up at the end of the day and even throughout the day. I will have Oliver's nursery tour linked. I love this room. It's one of my favorite rooms in the house. Although I will say I don't recommend buying the hardware that we tried to purchase from Amazon for this dresser because it has been crap. But I hope that you guys will follow me on Instagram. I post over there pretty much daily, and it gives you a better look at our life behind the scenes. So he's getting super cranky because it is 2:23 and he has been up since 9:30 without a nap. So we've tried to put him down twice. He slept a total of maybe 20 minutes. So he is supposed to eat again at 3, and so I'm going to let him stay up for a little bit longer, try and get him worn out. And then we will feed him and hopefully actually get him put down for a nap this time. So we're just playing here on the floor with his toys. He's a little cranky, but we're just gonna make it work. So I'm just gonna be honest here and say that the biggest struggle for me with motherhood has been exhaustion. And Oliver has not slept well since he was about 8 weeks old. He's had a very erratic sleeping schedule, and I know that their developmental leaps really play into that. Daxter, go to bed. So they have leaps so frequently that it's not uncommon for them to have sleeping issues, and it's not like we don't have routines or anything like that. We do the same routine for every nap, for every bedtime. And we allow him to self-soothe. We don't go in and pick him up. We don't do anything like that. So it's been really hard to know what else to do because we're doing pretty much everything that we know to do. And so when he doesn't sleep, he gets more and more cranky, and then he gets really fussy. And sometimes he will literally just sit on the floor and like go and he'll just sit there and do that. And if he would go to sleep, he would be just fine, but he doesn't want to go to sleep. So he just gets more and more cranky. So I'm hoping that, I'll feed him at 3 and then he'll go down for a nap. That's fingers crossed. When Russell's home, it's a lot better because we share the load. But when he works long shifts, it can be a real struggle, and it can feel a little bit not isolating, but you can feel a little bit like a solo parent, and that's a common theme with police wives. And I want to be careful with that phrase because Russell is just as much of a father as I am a mother. He works so hard for our family. He provides for our home, for our car, for our food, for everything that we have. And so I hate that term in a way, but I understand why some moms, especially if they're stay-at-home moms and they're police wives, why they feel that way. So we just do our best to make it through every day, and to, sometimes it is just survival mode, but that's okay. We understand that sometimes that's how it is, and we don't try to make every day perfect. We do try to stick to our routines. We do try to stay consistent, but we understand that he's growing and developing and changing, and with that, things are going to happen sometimes. So my exhaustion, I've learned to sleep when he sleeps and to take that extra rest if I need to. The dishes can wait, the laundry can wait, even though it makes me a little crazy because I like order. I like things to make sense. I like them to be in their place, but I've had to learn as a mom that it's not always about that. And so now I just try, especially when he's in a leap, I just try to rest when he does, and we just make every day the best that it can be. And if one day's a little rough, we hope that the next one, we know the next day is a new day, and we try again. So if you're going through that with your little one, my sympathies are with you. I'm sending all the good vibes. Hopefully it will end quickly and you will be able to get into a better routine. And, well, not a better routine, because you can have the best routine, but some babies just struggle. So hopefully it will pass. A lot of people tell me that the first year is the hardest when it comes to sleep, and after that it just slowly gets better. So I'm really hoping, fingers crossed. He's 8 months old now, and I can't believe that. That's insane. So maybe we only have 4 more months of sleep deprivation. We started putting Oliver in his bouncer at about 10 weeks. And even though he couldn't really do anything, he loved looking at toys. And he still, to this day, really enjoys it. He's starting to grow out of it, but we're trying to use it up every last bit that we can. By this point, Oliver was so fussy that he would not let me put him down. And so, because all he was doing was screaming, and it depends on the time of day and what the situation is on whether I will let him just cry it out or not. But in this instance, we were both so tired from getting up so early in the morning that I decided I just could not listen to him cry for 1 minute more. So I carried him on my hip and got the kitchen tidied up. And sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes I just want to put him down, but I do try to remember that it's all flying by so fast. He's 8.5 months old. He's almost 9 months old. And soon he's going to be a year, and then 2, and then 3, and it's all going to fly by. So in the moments when I'm really exhausted, when I'm really overwhelmed, and when I'm really just over it, I try to remember that. It's really difficult, and it's not something that comes easily to me, but I do try to remember that consistently. Our day literally goes in cycles and in routines. We are pretty strict about our routines and about how we go about our day, and I always thought that that would help him sleep better. Honestly, we haven't noticed a difference, but I'm hoping that once he gets through that first year of development, that those routines will be so consistent that they will really help him to feel safe and to have structure and balance. I love our routines. They help me feel sane, even on the days he doesn't nap or he's really tired and cranky. It helps to know what not each moment, but what our day is going to look like, and it helps me feel more confident and helps a lot really on those rough days. Trying to get his attention away from those puppies.
It's always a struggle, but it's a fun struggle. I love that we have puppies that he can grow with, and I never thought that it would be so distracting to him while he was eating, but it's also quite amusing.
So Oliver did not go down for his nap. He laid in bed for a little while, and I tried to leave him in there to see if he'll just fall asleep naturally, but he did not. And so I give him a good bit. I give him 30 to 40 minutes to fuss, or to sometimes he'll just lay and talk to himself, and I kind of just sit there and listen to him. So we got back up. I did have a couple of clips filmed during that time, but they were on my phone, so they don't exist in this. So we just got him back up. I just got him back up, and we just played some more. Was to make it to 7 o'clock. That is the earliest that I will put him to bed, and so that was what we were doing here, just trying to kill time. But he did not want to play with his toys. He just wanted to sit with Mom, and even then he wasn't super content. Because of Oliver's eczema, we only do bath time once a week, so tonight was bath night, and I will have the video linked below all about Oliver's eczema and how we've had quite a journey with it.
How's it going? Huh? You love bath time now, don't ya? He used to hate bath time, but as he's gotten a little bit older and he's learned to splash and play, he likes it a lot more. Oliver! Hey! Hi! Hi! Are you all done with your bath? Yeah? Good job! Good job! You're so cute! Oh, okay.
This is one of the hardest parts about giving Oliver a bath. We don't dry his skin, we just wrap him in the towel, and then we let the water just soak into his skin. His doctor recommended that because drying him off just dries out his skin more, so we do our best not to do that. Then we have a whole process of putting on his eczema cream and his medicated cream. And this has been quite the struggle now as he's gotten older, because he just wants to climb off of the table. And I'm just constantly trying to keep him from falling to his death. So when Russell's home, it's great because he stands on the end and kind of holds on to him and distracts him and keeps him steady while I put on his lotion and everything. But when I'm home alone, which I am 90% of the time after his bath,
it's really a struggle. And it's interesting. And this process actually takes about 8 to 9 minutes, and that's why I sped it up so much.
Did have a lot more footage after reading to him what my night looks like after he goes to bed, all the cleaning and the laundry and the dinner and the shower and all of that good stuff. But it's kind of sweet that we're ending this video on this note. We read every night, we read several times during the day, but we read every single night before bed, and it just gets Oliver wind down, and then he has a bottle and he goes to sleep. So this is one of my favorite parts of the day. He loves to read, so he will usually sit pretty contentedly and look at all the pictures and listen to all the voices, and so it's one of my favorite parts of the day. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below letting me know what you would like to see next, and I hope that I will see you in the next one. Bye.